Hello. I've been reviewing fountain pens since 2014. I've been buying them since quite a while before 2014. And I've always been hesitant about buying an expensive pen. I still am. Some of the people who've commented on this channel have remarked that, hey, you buy the pens that normal people buy, and it's true. No, I've just never been that into buying an expensive pen, and every time I look at an expensive pen, I'm just like, ooh, but who can afford one like that? Well, I made an exception. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. Now, I was so torn about this, but I found one used, and I kind of have a price limit in my head. I don't want to go above it. Well, this went a little bit above it, but not too far above it. So yeah, it's still an expensive pen, but not nearly as expensive as it would be new. Now, I did get it used. It already came a little bit pre-tarnished because it's bronze, and that's what bronze does. But you know what? Good shape. I would pull this open right now, and maybe in the close-up I will, but it's full of ink, so yeah, if I do that, it ink all over. But this knob here is a little blind cap. It pulls out. It's a piston, kind of a vacuum filler, a lot like the Pilot 823 or the TWSBI VAC 700 with a difference. With those pens, you have to keep the blind cap open while you write, or else the feed runs dry. Not so with this guy. In fact, running dry is not an issue with the feed on this guy at all. This is a very wet, juicy nib, which makes the current ink in this, which hopefully I do for the sample, Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose, look really good. It is made out of lava from Mount Etna. Now, they did not take a rock and go and lathe it down. It's lava mixed with resin. I'm guessing they probably cast it like this and then did some turning. I'm not 100% sure of the manufacturing. I guess I don't care a whole lot. But it feels very different from any of my other pens. Now, some people said it feels warm to the touch. I don't feel that. I'll just say it feels different. It doesn't feel like a metal pen or a plastic pen or a more expensive plastic pen. It doesn't even feel like Macrolon. It's got a unique feel. The cap itself, I don't normally go into this kind of detail, but I will this time. This little piece on the top, the little finial, is that the word I want, finial? That can be replaced with what they call My Pen system. So you can put in a precious stone or maybe something with your initials or whatnot. It's just held on magnetically. In fact, I dropped this pen once and that came off. So apparently it comes off with a good sharp blow also. I didn't. I mean, I bought it used. I guess I could spend a little more money on Goulet or whoever sells these guys and get the My Pen system, but really why? I like this. It looks good. It matches the rest of the pen. The bridge here supposedly, or I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. The clip here supposedly matches the Del Vecchio or something like Ponte Del Vecchio. Anyway, it's in Florence, Italy. It's the one bridge the Nazis didn't destroy. See, I remember all my other research. I don't remember this. But when the Nazis were retreating from Italy, that bridge was left. They did demolish some medieval buildings on either side of it to block it, but they blew up other bridges around it, but they left this one bridge alone. This bridge has a lot of jewelry shops and goldsmithers and, of course, tourist shops. And they used to have trouble with people putting padlocks on the guardrails because of some reason. And the Visconti, that's kind of their standard clip. And I think it's kind of neat when you look on the side, which I don't have a macro lens, so you're just going to have to trust me. But they actually kind of have the word Visconti, and then it's lacquered around it. As far as putting it in the pocket, it goes in. I know some people have said it doesn't go in their pocket real well. It doesn't clip the greatest. I don't have a problem. And it's a 23 karat palladium nib inside with apparently a plastic feed. Some people think that a pen like this should be ebonite, but I just say it works. It writes beautifully, so what's the big deal? But it does have is kind of a springy closure and little, I don't know even how to explain it. It's like halfway between a snap cap and a screw cap. It screws on very securely. I hope it shows up in the close-up, because I don't even know, I don't have words to explain it because I don't English well. It does post. I don't post it, but it does post. Very comfortable to hold, very comfortable to write with. When I originally got it, I inked it up right away with Noodler's Black because that's all I had, and wow, does Noodler's Black look amazing in it. Now I have Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose, and wow, does Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose look amazing in it. And I'd love to try some other inks in it, so yeah, I'll be playing with this pen forever. And I'm holding it here because I can't put it down, but I've got to. So let's talk size. Definitely a little heavier, but not a ridiculously heavy pen. As far as length, it's probably about 3/8 of an inch longer than the Noodler's Conrad. Noodler's Conrad is feeling kind of embarrassed in this company, but that's okay. Probably an 1/8 of an inch longer than Noodler's Conrad uncapped. Posted, now I don't post either pen because they're very comfortable length. And I don't know what posting will do to this lava material. It doesn't go on the best anyway. But almost an inch longer than the Conrad. I mean, ugh, too long. So what do I like? What don't I like? Well, I think I've babbled on long enough about what I do like. Let's talk briefly about what I don't like. I don't like the cost. Like I said, I did not pay full retail price for this because I got it used. I think the My Pen system here is just kind of silly. Be proud of your company. Put a firmly attached little finial there and leave it at that. One other thing I don't like, I wish it had an ink window. I mean, I can't tell when this thing's empty. The first hint I have that it's empty is when the ink starts to fade. I'm like, oh, good thing I'm at home where I've got ink to refill it with, because if I'm at work, I don't have any ink to refill it with. So I hope that was interesting. This review is extra long because I'm in love with the pen. And don't worry, this is not going to become the expensive pen channel. So we'll do a writing sample. See you later. I'm going to do my writing sample with the Visconti Homo Sapiens. The ink I have in the pen is Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose, and I think that's a good ink to show off how well this pen writes, because you can see the shading in the ink. I think even on this video footage, you can see it. Excuse me. Overall, I've been very impressed with it. It has some flex to it. I won't call it a flex nib, and I'm not going to push it too far because I like the pen and would prefer not to destroy it. Just trying to see how much I can flex it. It writes beautifully. My only concern I've had with the writing has been one thing, and I'm not sure what the cause is. Twice I have found my cap filled with ink. Now, I have a certain brand of cheap fountain pen where that will happen sometimes. It's very disappointing to find that on this one. But it also was traveling in my bag when that happened. So I might be leaving this pen at home. That might be the best option to take. So we'll see. I would cry if something happened to this pen. So as far as the writing, very smooth. Lots of ink comes out. You get all kinds of, you can get some line variation. In the videos I've watched, you can get more, but as I said, I would prefer not to destroy this pen because I do actually like it. It's a nice one to write with. I don't think it's ever going to be daily writer, but you know what? Who cares? The main thing is that I write with it. And if I do my fun writing with it, all the better. So let's do our quote. And I can't believe I'm going to Demi Moore, an actress I remember. So, actress she may be, but that doesn't mean she's wrong. I like nice things. This is a nice thing. But this nice thing says absolutely nothing about me. It's just a nice thing to have. And that's kind of where I come down on this pen. It's a nice pen to have. It's not one you need. It's not one, if you don't own one, it's okay. I usually don't review pens at this end of the market. And unless somebody's going to buy them for me, I don't plan to start. But I do enjoy having it. It's brought me a great deal of pleasure. As I said, it's not my daily writer. It's not, just for me and the way I function, it's not a good pen to use for jotting down notes and writing my novel and such. This is a letter writing pen, a fun writing pen. It's not a workhorse. And that's not a strike against the pen, it's just the way things are. But a very enjoyable pen. Now in the hand, it's made out of this lava from Mount Etna. That feels very nice. Some people described it as warm. I honestly do not get that feeling. It's just a nice grippy feeling. And yeah, I hope that was useful. Would I buy this pen again if something happened to it? I would like to replace it. I don't know if I could talk myself into spending that money for a new one at all. And I don't know if I can afford a new one. And I don't know if I'd ever luck into a used one at the price I got this one for ever again in my life. So that said, I hope it was useful, and I promise to return to my shorter and more realistic fountain pens next week.